everyone. Last video I talked about little girls are wiser than men. This video I'm going to shake things up a bit. Last 3 videos I was talking about stories and philosophy, but this time I might talk about some acting.
Empty, but that's a good thing.
Yes, and it's a smoker. Oh, can I assist you?
No, I can manage.
This is from my favorite series of all time. This is Sherlock Holmes. Not any Sherlock Holmes series. I like Peter Cushing's series. It's really good, and its acting, it's great.
There is nothing to fear now.
Whenever he wants to express something, he comes in, he touches the character. I don't know if he read the whole book or anything to act, but I think he really did some research because he did his homework. It's so good.
But why is such a blackguard hold over me?
Because he knew a great secret about you.
Whenever he finds a clue, his face goes into such a emotion that it just makes you wonder what it is. He builds up suspense along with the person who acted as Dr. Watson.
Yes, Watson.
Yes.
A good day for the countryside in any event, I think.
I beg your pardon, Holmes?
We shall be making a journey into the country.
I think some actors have tended to make Watson, they can't resist the thing of making him a comic, and therefore making him a little foolish. Some, not all. And I don't think a man like Holmes, who after all has a brilliant brain, I don't think he would have put up with a fool. He needed someone.
You must treat him
Yes,
serious.
yes. Yeah. He needed a partner, and he was a very clever doctor.
Watson, you're free at the moment, aren't you?
Well, yes, I am. If you think I could do the job.
You're the very man for it. That's settled then. You'll go down with them. We'll keep in touch by telegram.
And whenever he finds something, he doesn't really just like tell us off like in the book. In the book, they're just plainly open. But in the movie, I think they were really suspensive. The whole thing was suspenseful. You can't say what the clue was. It was the best thing I've ever seen.
This is to help me find my other boots.
Sir Henry, keep perfectly still if you value your life.
Mr. Holmes, what say you of the mystery of Jack Turner and the mate that was his enemy?
I say McCarthy was blackmailing you. When you returned to England, he demanded his farm from you. And when you fell ill, he began to demand your daughter for his son, so that after your death he might have control of your estates.
Correct.
And then when you see his walking and his style, his accent and his gestures, it's all just like Sherlock Holmes from the book.
There were no other footprints.
Facts are only of value when they're clear, concise, and correct, Dr. Mortimer.
James and I have known each other since we were little children. I'm certain he didn't do it. Please say you're certain too.
I certainly hope we may clear him.
And the most best thing is that he doesn't try to act. He just becomes the character. He doesn't act as the character, he becomes the character.
Dr. Frederick Brandt. Remember him?
Yes, I do.
Transplanting people's brains. You know, putting them from one person into another. And he claimed that anyone undergoing such surgery could survive. Absolute claptrap.
To act, you might put in some fake emotions, but he puts in true emotions that I couldn't even tell if it was fake or true.
Stupidity. It is fools like you who have blocked progress throughout the ages. You make pronouncements on half-facts that you don't understand anyway.
I find your tone and manner highly objectionable, sir. But if you wish to involve yourself in an argument about it, pray explain the word progress in this context.
You wouldn't understand it. But I will give you a parallel that you may just appreciate. Had man not been given to invention and experiment, then tonight, sir, you would have eaten your dinner in a cave. You would have strewn the bones about the floor and then wiped your fingers on a coat of animal skin. In fact, your lapels do look somewhat greasy. Good night.
And then when you look into his knowledge, he just speaks like Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes did that and this.
The powers of evil can take many forms. Remember that, Sir Henry, when you're at Baskerville Hall. Do as the legend tells, and avoid them more when the forces of darkness are exalted.
The book was pretty non-suspenseful. But when you come into the movies, all the movies are good. Yes, I do think so. But his series is a little bit different. It's a bit shaken up from the other ones.
Sir Henry, I am not a man to overestimate danger, but I must insist upon one thing. Under no circumstances are you to venture out onto the moor alone at night.
Because I haven't seen any other Sherlock Holmes series which is like his.
By turns sinister and sophisticated as an actor, he excelled as Sherlock Holmes.
Even you would never make such a sweeping generalization.
Oh, but I would. What's more, I do.
Oh, come now.
I wrote that article myself.
On the set, he was admired for his professionalism and liked for his personal warmth. The type of horror films he made were very different from the modern kind he dismissed as chainsaw pictures.
Those old pictures were so wonderful because they left a great deal to the imagination. There was great characterization, very few special effects. And in the end, good always prevailed over evil.
And the most best part is that whenever he does not know anything, he always leaves it as a suspense. He won't tell you that he doesn't know anything and blah blah. But he tells you when he knows that it was right. Like from Silicon Valley Mystery, when he went to the crime scene, he just picked up a rock and he gave it to Dr. Watson. I didn't understand what it was, but if you had read the book, you might know it, because that rock is the murder weapon. He knew it at the moment, but did he say that this is the murder weapon, I will give it to you? But he didn't say that. He just gave it to him. And then he doesn't really care about it. He just goes on and looks for other clues. He doesn't make it look so important. But when he says that it's the murder weapon, you just get astonished by his acting.
Watson.
Yes?
Yes. Take care of that stone.
What for?
It's the murder weapon.
The main thing I would like to note about him is that every single time Dr. Watson thinks something which is good, but it never is good, because he does not do the same as Dr. Watson. He is totally different from everyone in the story.
Watson, I wish to show you something. Something I purchased this afternoon. You see?
What part of the world is that?
The colony of Victoria. The goldfields embracing the major coach routes were about here.
I don't understand.
Now, Watson, Australia and things Australian have loomed large in this case. That curious call of cooey, remember? Now, if that was not meant for young James McCarthy down by the pool, it must have been for somebody else who would also understand its significance.
Another Australian.
Excellent. And that dying croak of a rat.
Croak of a rat?
Watson, look. What do you read?
A rat.
And now?
Ball a rat. Oh, Ballarat.
Ballarat, a famous town of the gold rush days. Perhaps that is what McCarthy was trying to say when he died. Ballarat.
But why?
To identify his murderer. An Australian from Ballarat. A man who limps and possesses a plaid cloak.
Extraordinary.
The actor Peter Cushing, the master of the Hammer House of Horror, died of cancer today at the age of 81.
One of the great names of British horror films, the actor Peter Cushing, has died at the age of 81.
Peter Cushing, you're known to pretty well everyone in this country for your roles in horror films, but horror isn't a term you like, is it?
It isn't that I object to it. I just feel it's the wrong adjective as applied to the films I do. Because horror to me is, say, a film like The Godfather, or anything to do with war, which is real and can happen, unfortunately. No doubt it will happen again sometime. But the films that dear Christopher Lee and I do are really fantasy, and I think fantasy is a better adjective. I don't object to the term horror, just the wrong adjective, I think.
Fantasy films.
And he is so simple. He's not so elegant and he's like, oh yes. He doesn't do that. He is so simple. Simplicity is the main thing about Sherlock Holmes. He lives in a street, and what else? He doesn't live in a mansion in the story.
He spent his retirement in Kent, painting watercolours. A mild, sometimes lonely man, but one whose steely screen presence made him one of the kings of horror.
I really loved his acting, and you can never describe someone without knowing them. But I think his acting was enough. Thank you for watching, and I'll come back with a new video. And see you. Thank you.
The world is not always as we would have it, Watson. And now, if you please, silence for my pocket Petrarch.
Outrageous. Scandalous. What in the world are we coming to? Oh, good Lord.